Today's racing is proudly brought to you by Sparacio'S Speed Shop and QC Racing. Welcome back to the Aussie Diecast Racing League. I'm Brian Tolmie, and this is Sam Sparacio'S Mustang Challenge Prelim Final number 2. These are the final 4 cars with a chance to make it through to the finals. Let's meet the drivers. First up, in the Boss 302, it's David Sparacio. Finalist number 2, in the Butterfinger Mustang, it's Mark D from Cut Rocker Racing. Driver number 3, in the 67 GT Mustang, it's Po Boy. And finalist number 4, in the number 8 92 Mustang, it's Brenly. Let's check out the odds thanks to Sportsbet. Brenly there, $1.50, very short. Mark D, $1.70. Sparacio, $1.80. And Po Boy at $2.10. Cars are ready to roll for the first event here at Prelim Final number 2. Brenly and David Sparacio sitting on pole position as the lights begin to count down. Away they go. That's a good start by Brenly. Takes a whole shot with ease. A little bit of trouble behind, but this one's all Brenly's. Goes away to take the win easily in a time of 5.36 over Mark D. David Sparacio for third. And we've lost Po Boy. There he is in between turn 3 and 4. We'll have to have a look at the replay and see if we can see what happened to Po Boy. But a great win on debut for Brenly in race number 1. You can see just here Po Boy went up high on the track near the Pepsi signs. Got himself loose, flipped over just out of turn number 2. And that was it for his day. Brenly went on to claim the victory. There's Po Boy cruising back on the back of the truck. Good event there for Brenly. She starts the day with 5 points ahead of Mark D with 3. David Sparacio sitting on 2. Drivers have changed lanes. They've rotated. They're ready to rock and roll. Mark D and Brenly on pole for the second event of the day. Just a reminder that the final is on next week here at Thunder Valley. 32 cars whittled down to just 4. Lights go out. That's a good start once again by Brenly, but Mark D takes over. Brenly pushes hard from behind, but Mark D's off and gone. There's a great win there by Mark D over Brenly. Po Boy finishes this time, and sadly for David Sparacio, he has failed to complete the course in a track record time of 4.80 seconds. Puts him up the top of the leaderboard. Great job, Mark D. Well, let's have a look at this replay. You can see that Brenly just nudges Mark D around the corner and gives him the perfect line. Just there we see Po Boy roll his car, and that was the end of his race. But it was all about Mark D absolutely flying in the second event of the day to smash the track record formerly held by Griffin Soul and Chris Hood. There's David Sparacio, found himself in a fair bit of trouble out of turn number 2. Flipped his car and slid the entirety of the second stretch on his head. There's the race in its actual time. Let's check the leaderboard after race number 2, where we see Mark D and Brenly tied on 8 points apiece. Down the bottom of the table tied is Po Boy and David Sparacio on 2. Welcome back to the channel for race number 3 of Sam Sparacio'S Mustang Challenge. Po Boy up the front of the grid for this one with Mark D. David Sparacio out the back with Brenly. Sparacio hoping to gain some very handy points. Well, what's going to happen in this one? It's been eventful so far. Lights begin to count down. Can Po Boy get a victory? Away we go. That's a good start by the man in brown. Takes a whole shot. There's trouble behind. Mark D takes over. It's another victory for Mark D in a time of 5.14 seconds over Po Boy. Brenly comes in third backwards, and we've lost David Sparacio on what appeared to be an horrific accident in turn number 1. We'll have to have a look at the replay. There's Sparacio on his lid, just on the grass out of turn number 1. Well, that was horrific. It looked like he got some real air. We'll have a look at the replay here. We'll see Mark D chops off Sparacio, gave him nowhere to go but into the wall. Yes, he got very airborne there. Does a couple of pirouettes, lands on his face. And that left Mark D and Po Boy to fight it out. And in the end, it was Mark D taking the victory, moving himself on to 13 points. Brenly sits there on 10, ahead of Po Boy on 5, and David Sparacio on 2. Here we go, the final chance to score some points and move yourself into next week's final. David Sparacio and Po Boy on pole position for the final event of the day at Thunder Valley. Sparacio really needs some points here. He's had a nightmare so far and has just 2 points on the board after 3 completed races. What's going to happen in this one? Sparacio desperately needs some luck. Lights go out and away we go. That's a good start by Po Boy. Mark D rails inside, takes the lead, spins. There's trouble behind, but it's another win for Mark D. Po Boy second, Brenly third, in a time of 5.52 seconds here in the final event at Thunder Valley. Well, David Sparacio once again has failed to finish and is left stranded at the treasure hunt sign. Let's have a look at the replay here, see what happened. Po Boy went up and Mark D went the inside route. Great manoeuvre by him. Po Boy got a bit loose. Brenly got sideways trying to claim second position. She couldn't get it done. And that was it in the final event of the day. Let's check out the leaderboard for the final time, where we see Mark D cruise on through to the final at 18 points. Joining him in the final is Brenly on 12. Sadly for Po Boy and David Sparacio, it's the end of their campaign. Congratulations for Mark D. 18 points out of a possible 20. Absolute masterclass today. And joining him in the final is Brenly, who moves in, courtesy of that win in race number 1. She claimed 12 points and puts herself into next week's final. Well, sadly, we have to say goodbye to David Sparacio, who had a shocker of a day, but we'll see him racing here again, I'm sure. And Po Boy, nothing went right for the old boy today, but I'm sure we'll see him racing at Thunder Valley again. If you've liked what you've seen, please consider subscribing to the channel. Remember to come back next week for the final of Sam Sparacio's Mustang Challenge, proudly brought to you by Sparacio's Speed Shop and QC Racing. Have a Merry Christmas and a New Year. We'll see you next week.